Hey friends, so today we're doing a what sold video where I'm going to be going over my sales from eBay and Poshmark, and these videos are just really great because then you have an idea of what brands and factors are selling right now, so let's get into them. Okay, so let's get into the sales. So I'm gonna start off in eBay, and I sold a pair of Frame jeans, which Frame used to do really well, and it is really expensive brand new, but it doesn't resell as well as it used to, but I still was able to sell these for $40.49, and I think the fact that they were a flare crop really helped sell them. With Frame, I would be very selective of the style that you're picking up. Obviously, skinny jeans are not selling right now, but if you do find something that is flared or wide leg, they still do really well. So another item on eBay was this Treasure Rock jacket, and this one is a knitted trench coat, and I've talked about it before, but I personally love finding knitted jackets. They do really well, and this one was also embellished and had this print on the back. It definitely looked like steampunk or goth, and so I even put pirate goth in there, and this actually ended up selling really quick for $40.99. So I remember when Everlane used to be like a really big bolo brand, and it's definitely gone downhill. Some of their items still perform well, like their jackets or their cashmere sweaters, those do really well. But I did pick these up because they were a men's item, and I feel like men's items for anything kind of moves quicker for me. And they were a pair of joggers, which joggers are a great athleisure style. I ended up selling these for $20, so I only paid $2, so I do feel good about this. If I was to go back, I probably wouldn't have gotten them just because I did have to wait to sell these for a couple months, but I'm still really happy with the sale. I actually found these in a recent Thrift Me haul, and they're 1 teaspoon, which 1 teaspoon doesn't perform as well as it used to, but it still does well in some of their styles. And these were kind of interesting because they're like a baggy jogger jean. I don't know how to describe them other than that, but they had a button fly, and these end up selling for $36. So this actually sold from an offer to likers using my Poshmark automation tool through Prime Lister, and Prime Lister is sponsoring today's video. I've personally benefited from this tool, and it has saved me so much time, and with that time I'm able to reinvest it back into my business, which in turn has made me more money. And one thing that I do really appreciate with them is that you can put this on your computer, your tablet, or your phone, which I absolutely love that feature because I don't know how many times I've gone to Goodwill and I've forgotten to leave my computer open, but this makes it so it's accessible wherever you go, and that is a game changer in my opinion. Everything is really easy to set up, and you have so many features that you're able to access in the cloud extension that just work in the background for you. You can share your closet, and you have the ability to set how many items you want to share each hour. I personally like to make it so mine's spaced throughout the day. You can set a daily amount of community shares. You can relist stale items, and you can set how many days you want that item to be active before it relists it for you so that it's back up in the algorithm. You can send offers to likers, and I have mine set up so that within 2 minutes of somebody liking my item, it sends out an offer for 10% off plus discounted shipping, and I have made so many sales with that. You can also party share, return follow, and follow new closets, and these are all really great actions that you can take to show the Poshmark algorithm that you are staying active on the platform. Right now they have a 14-day free trial, and you do not have to put in your credit card information, so if you use it and then decide that it's not for you, you don't have to worry about them billing you. If you guys are like me and you have New Year's resolutions to increase your listings and make more sales, this is an amazing way to start. Prime Lister was kind enough to leave a 30% off your first month if you use my link down in the description below. I hope you guys love it. I know that I do. Thank you, Prime Lister. All right, you guys, back to the sales. Then I sold this maybe Anthropologie sweater, which I loved this sweater, and I'm really happy that I got to wear it before it sold because it was really cute. I love the hearts all over it. It ended up selling for $40. Anthropologie, some of their brands do really well and some of them not so much. Even some items in Maeve don't do well for me, but it really just depends on the style. So if you find an item, I like to Google Lens it and then see how it's doing on eBay and Poshmark. That's always something that I personally like to do. So I knew that this one was going to do well just because it's kind of a novelty print, and I've said before I love finding novelty print sweaters or novelty print items, and this actually ended up selling really quick, so I was really excited about this one, but then also sad to see it leave. So this is from Amy Kestenberg. I ended up picking this up because I thought this was really cute, and I love the fact that it was metallic and shimmery. It was just a really nice crossbody bag. I was expecting it to do a lot better than it did because originally this was $125. The buyer actually sent me an offer for $20, and I gladly accepted because sometimes I'm just happy to see things go, and I didn't want to hold on to this for any longer just to make a couple more bucks. So really happy with that sale. And I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes when I sell an item that I've had for forever, and even if I only sell it for $20, those are like kind of my highlight sale for the day. I don't know. I'm just happy to see it go, I guess. So this was a vintage dress, and if you watch my channel, you know that I love to find vintage pieces, especially their dresses. This was a Scalia, and it was a 90s vintage. It was full sequins, which I love full sequins pieces. They perform really well. They are very sought after. And this one had this deep V-neck in the front and the back, and this ended up selling for $45 on Poshmark. So I hope that that person loves it. I hope that they wear it for New Year's or something because it is such a beautiful dress. This is from Sanctuary, and I don't typically pick up this brand, but I did get this one because it was a 3X and it was also camo, which people love camo and it always sells really well. And I actually ended up selling this one for $31 within a week of having it listed. This one is from Garnet Hill, and I just recently talked about this jacket. I really was excited when I found this. I knew it was going to do well because it was a size 12, and it also had a fleece underlining in it, which jackets that have the fleece inner lining do really well for me. This one was called the 2-in-1 Sherpa jacket, and I actually ended up selling this so quick for $50. And I've talked about this brand before, and I personally love to find it, especially in their larger sizes or their high quality material blend items. They just perform really well. Brand new, their pieces are really expensive, and they're known for lag and look and minimalistic, so I always like to put that in my keywords, and yeah, just a really great find. So next up I had this Athleta jacket, and like I've talked about before, I do definitely feel like Athleta is kind of going downhill for me. It used to perform really well, and for this particular piece I thought it was going to sell really quickly, but I actually ended up sitting on it for a couple months. But I am really thankful that it sold, and it's this micro fleece bomber varsity jacket, and it ended up selling for $40, so very thankful for that sale. I've never heard of this shoe brand before. It's called Kazik. At least I think it's called Kazik. But I looked it up just because it was leather, and you could tell that the leather was high quality. And originally these were $129 brand new. Mine did have some flaws on them, so I actually ended up selling them to an offer to likers for $32. So personally, I don't pick up Nike that often unless it's the Nike Tech. But I did get this one, and I actually had this one a while ago, and then I just had it hanging up next to all of my new stuff, and I just kept pushing it aside and not listing it. I don't know why, but I ended up listing this, and when I looked it up, it had actually been seen on Michael Jordan during the movie Creed, which I've talked about before. If you find an item that a celebrity has worn or it's been in a movie, that makes it so much more desired, and this actually ended up selling within 2 days for $50. So I think this is a brand that they sell at Anthropologie. It is called Seychelles, and I did get these because they are leather riding boots, and this particular style of riding boots are kind of a classic and timeless piece. I was hoping that these would do a little bit better, but I've had these in my closet for a while, so I was happy to accept an offer for $31. So really random side note, I always get asked in these videos what kind of poly mailers I use, and I go through Gyropack. So these are like a really cute peach and then a teal blue. I really like them, but they also have like printed ones too. What I do really like about them is that they're really good quality, and they're also really affordable. They're not sponsoring this video, but I do have a link down in my description below for 10% off your first purchase. So if you are interested, that is what I use. So moving back to eBay, I just talked about this cardigan, and it is from Athleta, and it is the Passage Duster. And like I said, I am pulling away from Athleta, but this one had a lot of factors going for it. It was a size large, 100% merino wool, and it was a long line cardigan, which that particular style does really well all the time. This one sold really quick for $44.99. A brand that I always talk about, and I love whenever I find it because it sells really quick for me. It is Title IX, and like I've said before, this brand is definitely known for athleisure and outdoors, and whenever I list it, I always put like hiking or camping in there. This one is made out of extra fine merino wool, and it is this cute polka dot pullover sweater, and I sold this for $31.49. So here's a J. Jill dress, and I got this one because it's a turtleneck. It's also long sleeve, so I felt like this was going to be a great dress to have during the fall and winter time. And I normally like to pick up their larger sizes in J. Jill. Those just perform well. This one was only a medium, but I still got it just because of the factors, and this sold really quick for $22.49. I remember when Wild Fox was like a really big bolo brand, and it has definitely gone downhill. I actually had this one for a long time, I think over a year, so I was more than happy to accept an offer for $20. I felt like it might as well have been $100. I was very excited about this. So this one is from Babaton. I definitely feel like I'm not saying that right. I'm so bad at pronouncing stuff correctly. If I ever say anything wrong, and if you correct me in the comments below, I do not take offense to it because I want to say things right. So thank you. It is an Aritzia brand, and Aritzia is really expensive. This one was alpaca and wool blend. It's also this oversized turtleneck, and this sold for $35. I did definitely feel like I was gonna be able to get 40 or 45, but still very grateful for this sale. This is from Cool, and this is a very well-known outdoors brand. This was a men's pullover fleece jacket, and this ended up selling for $30. Another men's Nike piece, and this one was actually the Nike Tech, which, like I said before, I love to find the Nike Tech pieces. I thought this was so cool. It was very like retro with the color blocking, and this ended up selling for $98.99. Here we have a Lululemon's piece, and it is a cashmere blend sweater, and it's called the Bringing It Back bend. I ended up selling this for $49.49 on eBay. So this is from Free People Movement, and their movement line is their athletic and athleisure style clothing. This was a pair of harem pants, and the harem style just means that it has that kind of slouchy oversize around the crotch area. That style is really popular, and these ended up selling within a couple weeks for $35. I also just talked about this one recently, and it is from Driftwood. Driftwood is a brand that they sell at Free People and Sundance, and it's really expensive, brand new. These were a pair of high-rise flare jeans, and flare jeans right now are really popular. These end up selling for $70. Really excited about that sale. Here's a piece from J. Jill, and it is this extra large quilted jacket, and like I said, I love finding quilted jackets. They perform really well. They're just a very classic and timeless piece, and this ended up selling really quick for $35. So Wilfred Free is another Aritzia brand, and this one was made out of alpaca and wool. It was also this oversized cardigan, and this sold really quickly for $28. I love whenever I find vintage Betsey Johnson, and I don't pick up any of the current labels. I only stick to the vintage pieces. They perform really well, and this one was just a tattered hem silk slip dress. I mean, really great factors. This is 90s Y2K. So funny story, I bought this dress like 2+ years ago, and I lost my mannequin in my move, and so when I took pictures of this, I just didn't like the way that it was hanging, and it just didn't feel like it was flattering the dress very well, and so I just kept putting off listing it and then putting it off, and then eventually the other day I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna list it and see how it goes, and it sold for $89.99 in just 7 hours of being listed. And I'm the type of person that overthinks everything. Like, my husband can confirm I am like the queen of overthinking, and this really put in perspective to me that action is better than perfection. So that's something that I always need to remember, and maybe you guys do too. You are never gonna have the perfect listing or do something perfect. That's not an obtainable goal. As long as you're putting in action every day, you are gonna see benefits and rewards. You guys are doing awesome. Another great vintage sale, and it is from Steve Madden. These are 90s Y2K vintage, and they are a pair of chunky platform boots. This is a very sought after style. It reminds me of like Bratz dolls, Spice Girls, Go-Go Dancer, and these sold for $166.49. Here we have a cool sweater again. This one is a woman's zip up, and this sold for $31.49. So I've had this in my closet for forever. It is from Madewell. I'm now really selective whenever I pick up this brand, but like I said, I've had this for a while, and this ended up selling for $22.49. This is from the brand Quinn, and they sold this brand at Nordstrom. This was 100% cashmere. It was this pullover polka dot sweater, and this one actually had some stains on it, and I did disclose. I didn't notice until I got home. Don't be like me, make sure that you're checking your items before you bring them home, but this still sold really quick for $31.49. So LL Bean's signature does really well for me, and this one is a chunky oversized cable knit tunic sweater. This sold for $40.49 really quick. I love this jacket, and I was really excited when I found it. It's from the brand Insight New York, which I had never heard of before, but this was $160 new, and this was actually new with tags. I love the Victorian style button-up, and this sold really quick for $60. So typically Eliza J does really well in dresses. This was one of the styles that I actually had to sit on for a while, and I did eventually sell it for $25. I've never heard of this brand before. It's called Wool Lovers, but I looked it up because it's 100% merino wool, which is a very sought after material makeup, and this actually ended up selling really quick for $30. So this dress is stunning. I absolutely love it, and it is from the brand Pavera, which I've never heard of before, but I looked it up because it had all this beading and sequencing all throughout it. So anytime that I find an item that has that much time and effort put into it, I always look it up. Originally this was $550, which is crazy, and I ended up selling it for $100. INC International Concept is a brand that is expensive new. This one was 100% wool. It was also this long blazer trench coat. I personally love this jacket, and I did wear it a couple times before I sold it. It sold for $30, and it's one of those sales where I'm kind of like happy to make the sale, but then also sad. It's a beautiful jacket. I love to find Disney items, and I definitely prefer their vintage pieces. This one was not vintage, it was from Spirit Jersey, and when I looked up this particular style, it was performing really well, and I actually ended up selling this within a week for $40.49. So I've talked about in my other videos how Talbot's is kind of a bread and butter brand for me. It has to be a larger size though, or else the smaller sizes just tend to sit. This one was extra large, and it was also merino wool, and it's this open knit jacket. Originally this retailed for $169, and I sold it for $44.99 on eBay. So title night again, and you guys were actually with me when I found this dress, and this one sold really quick for $40.49. So another item that I've had in my closet for forever, and it's this Free People turtleneck top, and this sold for $20, and I was just really excited to make the sale. Spanx definitely performs really well for me. It's a brand that sells really quick, and these were just a pair of faux leather leggings. They were also size large, and I feel like I could have got 40 for them, but they sold within a week for $30. Another really fast flip, and it is this pair of pants from Sundance. These were a cotton and linen blend. They're also kind of looser and baggy, and they have a belted waist. These sold within a week for $32. So another J.Jill piece. This one is a sweater. It's this open front cardigan, and it's 100% cashmere, which anytime I find anything that's 100% cashmere, I'm either looking it up or I'm, for the most part, picking it up. This sold within just a couple weeks for $48. All right, you guys, that is it for today, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys were able to take some value from today's video, whether it be learning some new brands or some new factors to look out for. And as always, if you guys think that I earned a like on this video or your subscription, I'd really appreciate that. But either way, I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day and that you continue to. Bye, guys.